And nah, there's Wukong. He's just doing monkey things.
So that's how they won this fight. Okay, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. Wow. That's just an impressive player right there. Did you see it?
How many games on yes or no? I didn't see it. Did he block all the damage?
Yep. Watch.
Nice, and it blocks both the stun and the...
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then everyone just walks into the ultimate here, like, what?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, like, Xerath didn't have any mana, he couldn't do anything. Ezreal, I think, was out of mana too.
Yep. God bless. Oh, holy! That's how you won this game, by the way. That wind wall
right there.
That wind wall won the game pretty much.
Nice. I mean, normally I'd say, don't shove it till I get there. I need to back I'm low, but the Yasuo decided to take things into his own hands. It's nice to get that every once in a while, especially after the stomp of the first game I had.
Yeah. And then this whole fight here.
That's the noodles slapping each other.
No, I'm just talking about Xerath being Xerath.
The scripts, man. Those are the free ones.
Like Christ. What happened there? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's how they saw it.
I'm getting a lot of these kind of games though right now, where it's just kind of snowballed on one side or the other.
This is like fives. You're getting the fives and ones now. You know, Platinum 1, Diamond 5. So people are just like trying far too hard, and like no one's like no real tactic to the game. Especially when you have champions like Evelynn in the game that are like very hard to detect in solo queue settings. And you know, people are like trying strategic things, right? Like you have Zyra like being like, you know, come here, let's try and kill Aurelia, and stuff like that. But as long as you're like pulling in your effort, like your part of like success, everything works itself out for the most part, and it can be like really grindy if you don't have the mechanical advantage over your opponents.
Yeah.
You know, like there are like just like little things like what? Like what?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like part of me feel like that whole time I just thought he was like, okay, he's gonna come back now. Like we're outnumbered, we should probably pull back. But he kept going. I'm like, oh, because I had hesitation in going in. I should have like just kind of figured out that was his playstyle already. I mean, I knew that, and I should have just went in anyway. It would have turned out better, but then the enemy goes in, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. That was like it just like gifts abound, pretty much.
exactly, exactly.
Like just like the Ezreal doesn't do anything. He doesn't even have a tier, so he just booms every single fight. And Xerath has proven that he is quite possibly the best player in any division I've ever seen ever.
I don't know. I don't like the tier on 80 carry Israel, from my experience. But I mean, he lost his lane, so I'm not sure. Like maybe he could have gotten it because he was behind anyway. But I'm just not a fan of it. I love it in mid lane though. It's great.
Why aren't you a fan of it? You don't get the crit on Ezreal, and that's the big problem. So you need to supplement it somehow. And
I don't know. Like typically, when I go 80 carry, I go Trinity Force and then into usually Bloodthirst, sometimes Infinity Edge if I'm really far ahead. I just go typical 80 carry build after that, similar to Corki.
Interesting.
I just rely more on my auto attacks because I actually am getting crit when I go 80 carry Ezreal. I feel like if you go tier, it just means that even if you get an advantage, so you get first blood, you can't push that advantage with an earlier Trinity Force, and I like to push the advantage.
Okay, so once upon a time, Ezreal was one of those champions that could push that advantage, but not so much anymore. He's
really?
Yeah, he's a scaler. He's a scaling caster, and so I've heard this argument before, and I completely understand it. But basically, what happened is if you want the ability to do things late game.
Yeah, I do sacrifice my late game.
Yeah, you can just throw away your late game. If you want any chance of doing anything late game and not falling off after mid game with your Trinity Force spike, you have to buy tier and invest in the mirror mana. And yeah,
I mean it makes sense. I always felt Ezreal was weak late game if I didn't go that route anyway.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Though I mean, in nowadays I don't ever play him bottom. It's usually Corki instead.
Yeah. There's like minor differences once you start using your smite on like things like I don't know. You probably don't notice them, but
no, I mean I'm not a jungle main, so
yeah.
hitting that button for it, and the fact that I don't take ignite too often anyway, I'm not used to. It's not really worked into my rotation. That's why it always comes out last, usually delayed behind everything else.
Yeah, it's just like oh.
Yeah, I mean, I usually, the thing is, because when I support like in Ezreal, because I hardly ever play him AD carry now, and then he goes tier first, so I'm like, okay, he's going the scaling route, but then he keeps trying to pick fights, and it gets on my nerves so much, because it's like,
okay, that's understandable.
You're not, even if you got first blood, you're not gaining any advantage right now unless you poke them out. You can't win in auto attack trades. He back to a longsword, you back to a tier. He's gonna win that. It's frustrating because they don't change their playstyle when they lock in that item. Most people, anyways.
Completely understandable. Yeah, it's completely understandable, and I can see why you get that point of view. It's just like, you're not playing Ezreal for lane.
Exactly.
You're playing him for mid to late, and it's like sometimes people are just like really blind to it.
Yeah, the Muramana and Trinity Force power spike around 20-22 minutes is extremely strong though. I agree. Especially for mid lane, it's crazy. We played it a lot when I played ranked 5s.
Yes. Okay. Alright, there's nothing else to go over here. So, you know, things you need to keep in mind. Just like working extra abilities and stuff like that into your rotation is like really important. Keep in mind on pathing and like how the map is going to play out. Like if you're in base, at the very least, you should hit your F keys on everybody at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Just be thinking about what the enemy's next move might
yeah,
be.
as much when yeah, like at any role, like if you're in base, you're able to just like you're able to just buy and then hit your F button so you can see the map. It'll improve your map play, and that's pretty much what we need to work on. Besides being on Twisted Fate, which that comes in a completely different sort of way because you have an ability completely attached to it.
Yeah. It all helps. Something I'm still working on
Yeah.
is trying to think where the jungler is and what their next move, the enemy jungler, I mean.
Mm-hmm. So like,
that's something I don't think about nearly as often as I need to be.
Yeah. So like if you like I showed it to you last lesson. I'm going to show it to you again. I think I showed it to you again this lesson. That if you hit the F keys and you look at what's about to happen, and you try to predict what's about to happen, you're going to understand where you need to be.
Yeah.
Like the whole, it just happened to be top again, right? Like last time it was Twisted Fate, and like if you had hit F2, you would have seen you would have been able to dive in here. And then in this situation, like despite it not working out, the line of play that you probably needed to take from your base was just run straight top and see if you can counter gang Evelyn. And that, like, once again, this problem is very hard. It's very hard to fix, and it simply requires playing several hundred games and just like understanding, just develop. It's like developing a muscle, pretty much.
Exactly.
And
I mean, I'm still trying to develop the whole hitting F keys. I mean, I'm doing it every game, but I'm still trying to be able to capture the most information in the split second I swap over. That's something I'm still working on.
It's just like you do it like you'd be hitting your spacebar at the same time too. So like, and it's like you're basically taking it's the equivalent of taking a photograph and like trying to process the photograph instantaneously, and it's very, very difficult for people to do. So, once again, it's literally just a muscle that you need to keep developing. Okay, I do have homework for you, but I'm actually going to talk about it off stream with you.
Okay, that's
because it is an interesting one, and I need some help with the lesson next week.
Awesome, sounds good.
Okay, just give me 1 second. All right.
I did do my homework, by the way. It was the 3 Apto games. I don't know, when I was at work, I just turned on a bunch of TF games and streams, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch these guys.